So, a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every week, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week, based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, there has been a lot of rumblings on the trade rumor mill, plus the standings are starting to shake out and solidify themselves, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, though, I make a community post, plus people who join my community over on Raptive actually have priority to have their submissions put in these videos, so if you want a chance to have your takes featured here more than just from the YouTube community post, come join us over in the community. Before we start, though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Francis, and he says that LeBron James coming back from his injury is going to disrupt the chemistry that the Lakers have built to start the season. The Lakers are in a very weird situation right now where they've been a group built around LeBron James for 6 years now, and have won a championship with him leading the way, and for good reason. They want to continue to do right by him as he enters the swan song of his career. For a while, there was a serious dilemma in Lakerland regarding what the plan post-LeBron even was, and then out of nowhere last year, the Mavericks gifted them the perfect plan, dropping Luka Doncic right into their laps at 26 years old as the perfect superstar talent to build around for the future. The tough part is that it's not the future yet, though. LeBron James is still there. Luka Doncic is one of the greatest playmakers the game has arguably ever seen, and while he has drawn criticism for how ball-dominant he can be, I'd argue back saying that he gets the right to be that ball-dominant because he is a one-man wrecking crew on offense that can almost single-handedly carry a team night after night as an elite 3-level scorer with some of the most natural passing instincts in the game to go along with it. He does well deferring to his number 2 option too, letting him get hot as evidenced by Kyrie Irving's production remaining unchanged after his arrival in Dallas, and now with Austin Reeves dominating next to Luka to start this season. But adding a third ball-dominant player to the mix is a lot tougher. Last season, Luka was still new, trying to get a feel for his new teammates, while also coming back from injuries, but this year he is back comfortable in the lead role. That has many believing what the original take here stated, that the Lakers are ready to progress without LeBron James. LeBron has ranked in the top 10 of the NBA pretty much every single year of his career in usage, including last year as a 40-year-old, and that just won't be possible in this new era of Lakers basketball. But I also disagree with the notion that it means that LeBron is going to obstruct this team's success and hold them back at all. The Lakers are off to a red-hot 7-2 start, and are in second place in the Western Conference standings thanks to Luka Doncic returning to form, and Austin Reeves playing the best basketball of his life. But it's tough to say that this level is sustainable over 82 games. That is asking a lot of Austin Reeves, and call me crazy, but I don't think Reeves will continue to average 31 points and 9 assists per game for the entire season. That level of production is going to revert back to the mean over time, and when it does, I love the idea of the Lakers having LeBron James back in the fold to give them even more firepower to keep this group ranked in the top 5 of the league on offense like they currently are. At this point in LeBron's career, all he wants to do is try to win another ring before he calls it quits, and he has shown that he can embrace more of a playmaking role over the score-first ways of his prime years, so after seeing how this team has been thriving, I'm sure LeBron knows his time as the top dog is probably over, and he'll happily play support to the team's new all-star backcourt. The next take we'll be discussing comes to us from Marcus over in the Raptive community, and he says that the recent Rockets' success is proof that they don't need to desperately try to find Fred VanVleet a replacement to still be true contenders. The Rockets came into the year with a lot of expectations after trading for Kevin Durant in the offseason, but along the way, they took an unfortunate hit that left their backcourt very thin on paper. One of the biggest talking points was about the fact that they just didn't didn't seem to have many guards with proven experience to elevate a championship contender with, and with such a thin backcourt, the idea of having to play guys out of position just to get by wasn't exactly comforting. There were a lot of rumors swirling about the Rockets re-entering the trade market to try to find another lead ball handler to add to the bunch, but those rumors have completely died out as the season has progressed because the Rockets team is proving all of those doubters wrong in pretty much every category. The Rockets built their success last season on defense, ranking in the top 5 of the league on that end of the floor last year, and that defensive success is still there now with the group ranked 6th in the league on defense so far. Where the incredible surprise has come in, of course, is on the offensive end, with this Rockets team actually being the #1 ranked offense in the entire NBA out of the gate, soaring past opponents night after night. They're also the NBA's best three-point shooting team, which, I'll be honest, I never would have imagined in a million years. Yes, the addition of Kevin Durant was a move I was very high on and knew that replacing Jalen Green with KD was going to help a ton, but the development of everybody else around him has been an incredibly improbable outcome to the delight of Rockets fans. How exactly are they pulling this off? Well, it's just a classic case of internal development and hard work. Alperen Şengün is not only taking double the amount of threes per game as he ever has in his career, but he's also knocking them down at a 43% clip. Jabari Smith Jr. looks more confident on offense than he ever has, and he's shooting 39% from 3. Tari Eason provides incredible versatility off the bench, and he's shooting a lights-out 56% from 3, which I know isn't sustainable, but it does demonstrate that he's improved as a shooter in general. Josh Okogie has always been known more as a perimeter defender than a shooter, but even he's shooting better than he ever has from 3, and second-year player Reed Sheppard may still have a lot of growing to do in his overall game in a bunch of different areas, especially as a defender, but he has rediscovered his shooting stroke and is hitting 43% of threes himself. Alperen Şengün has proven he can operate as a point center, similar to the role that Nikola Jokic plays in Denver, and the desperation for more ball handling just isn't there anymore as a result of that. Plus, Amen Thompson continues to get better and better even without a reliable jumper, and then when Kevin Durant gets hot, there's just no way to slow this team down. Going back to the original take, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea for the Rockets to explore the market for some insurance options to bring into their backcourt, but I do agree that they can compete with anybody right now without needing to change anything. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Tropical, and he says that he thinks the Utah Jazz are a sleeper team that can acquire Ja Morant in a trade. So, if you haven't been keeping up, basically, things in Memphis are once again looking rocky, and unlike last year, they are no longer winning enough games to cover up the disconnect happening behind the scenes, as the team is now 3-6, with a bottom 5 ranked offense, and just the 23rd ranked defense. Rumblings started popping up last year when Ja Morant was struggling in the new system that Taylor Jenkins was trying to implement, and then when Jenkins eventually got fired, it was sort of seen as an unspoken understanding that if Ja Morant couldn't figure things out under new coach Tuomas Isalo, then a breakup may have to be explored. And thus, here we are. The breakup is officially being explored, with several reports indicating teams are anticipating making a run for trading Ja Morant, and at the moment, it's all speculation regarding who would actually try to make a competitive offer. Teams like the Miami Heat, Sacramento Kings, and Minnesota Timberwolves have all connected to a potential deal for obvious reasons, as they are teams that are all fairly weak at the point guard position and want to find a boost to get themselves further along in the quest to make the playoffs and potentially make a run. But the Jazz don't quite fit that bill, at least not according to most. The Jazz have actually been surprisingly competitive with wins over the Clippers, Celtics, and Suns so far this season, and they've had a few really tight losses too. Plus, with how their rotations are currently set up, they're giving off the impression that they are trying to win more than they're trying to tank. Lauri Markkanen is back to being in all-star form, Keontae George is taking a major leap as a scorer, and Svi Mykhailiuk is in the starting lineup over many young prospective options, while the younger players like Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton are playing minimal roles off the bench, and Cody Williams isn't even really seeing the floor at all. I like the fact that they saw that there was real talent in their rotation, and they wanted to try to make a surprise run to the playoffs, and would have been fully on board with them exploring a surprise Ja Morant trade to solidify their point guard position and elevate their level even more, but then Walker Kessler suffered a season-ending injury that I think destroys any chance they had of that. Kessler was the heart and soul of this team's defense as a stout rim protector and elite shot blocker who absorbs rebounds, and without him, I have a hunch that the losing streaks are going to start to pile up again. It would be a waste of their own time and Ja Morant's time to try to speed up their rebuild with a player like Morant who wouldn't even be happy to be traded there, and at this point, it seems more likely that the Jazz will be sellers than buyers at the trade deadline. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.